We walk into the pet food aisle, wanting to do right by the animals in our homes. We see the bright packaging, the soft focus photography, and the reassuring labels that promise complete and balanced nutrition. We trust the branding because we love the pet we feed. By age 4, many dogs fed on these standard diets begin developing markers of metabolic fatigue. Clinical data shows rising rates of dilated cardiomyopathy, kidney disease, and obesity, a physical decline that often begins well before an animal should be considered senior. The pet food industry inherited its operational framework from Big Tobacco and Big Cola. It optimizes for scale, margin, and quarterly growth. Over decades, large manufacturers became disconnected from biological reality, engineering shelf-stable feed for animals that were never designed to eat it. In India, a market of 30 million domestic pets, there is no mandated nutrient floor. A brand can print complete and balanced on a bag without facing any regulatory challenge. In this environment, the label functions as a marketing claim rather than a biological guarantee. The company sells you the bag for a low upfront price, but the real cost is often deferred. Without a regulated standard, the pet consumes what the human believes is a complete diet, while the specific chemical requirements for long-term health go unmet. Consider the physical object inside that bag. Manufacturing kibble requires a high-heat extrusion process running at 150 to 180 degrees Celsius. This intense heat denatures the proteins and destroys the natural bioavailability of the raw ingredients. To hold that pellet together, the manufacturer has to pad it with starch. Even a veterinary-prescribed joint support diet relies on an architecture that is 51% rice by weight. A wild kainit naturally takes about 1% of its calories from plant matter. Because a carnivore would instinctively reject a baked matrix of plant starch, the industry applies a synthetic palatin spray to the exterior of the kibble. This chemical coating overrides the natural satiety signal. The dog finishes the bowl in 90 seconds, driven by a calibrated laboratory dependency rather than genuine biological nourishment. The kibble bag is an industrial solution to a logistics problem. It is optimized for the shelf and the spreadsheet, leaving the animal's actual biological needs as a secondary concern. In the wild, predators do not eat uniform, identical meals. A free-living carnivore feeds in cycles, gorging on musculature, viscera, and skeletal tissue in succession, followed by periods of fasting while moving across its territory. They never consume a perfectly balanced portion at a single sitting. Nutritional sufficiency is achieved through diversity over the entire prey consumption cycle. The body manages this variation through physiological buffering. Nutrients enter a tissue reservoir, smoothing out daily fluctuations. A deficit on Tuesday is safely buffered by a surplus on Thursday. Nutritional adequacy is a portfolio held over weeks, not a strict requirement of every single bite. Demanding that every pellet be complete and balanced in isolation is a mathematical constraint that forces the industry toward heavy processing and synthetic fortification. Exiting this industrial trap requires a structural change called the decoupling principle, abandoning the all-in-one pellet to split the diet into its two true components. The first component is the grocery. The owner sources fresh, highly bioavailable muscle meat, sardines, and eggs directly from local vendors. This provides the daily caloric energy and the structural macronutrients. The second component is the chemistry. To complete what fresh grocery meat lacks, a small 4-gram cold-pressed nutrient block is added to the bowl. This precision block spans the animal, plant, and fungi kingdoms. It uses ingredients like liver, black soldier fly larvae, and natural eggshell to deliver missing trace minerals such as zinc, copper, and iodine in their natural food matrices. By separating the bulk energy from the chemistry, the bowl achieves raw equivalent bioavailability without the pathogen risks or nutritional guesswork of unstandardized raw feeding. This chart shows a 1 million node Monte Carlo simulation. Because local grocery meat has natural variances, this engine tests the protocol against extreme multi-axis swings. It injects noise into the data, identifying exactly how a diet might fall short before the food ever reaches the bowl. The result is the elastic buffering regime. The precision block is calibrated to carry this exact variance, acting as a safety net to ensure limiting trace minerals stay strictly bounded regardless of grocery fluctuations. The output is a defined statistical tolerance interval. CR 9599. It replaces the blind trust required by an industrial label with mathematical certainty. The diet's adequacy is proven against the worst-case biological scenarios. In the kitchen, this science translates into a 5-minute ritual. You lightly steam the grocery meat and add the specifically calibrated precision block. By removing the industrial palatants and the carbohydrate binders, the compounding nutritional debt associated with processed diets is effectively halted. This approach shifts how you spend on your pet's health. Because the daily block is engineered to meet 22 specific NRC requirements, it displaces the need for the standard stack of joint chews, skin oils, and multivitamins. Feeding with this level of calculated intent directly mitigates the risk of the massive diet-related medical bills that often appear in an animal's later years. Shifting the labor of sourcing the grocery meat to the owner requires intent, but it is the only way to reclaim an animal's metabolic health from the industrial food complex. The pet food industry will not voluntarily police itself. The margins are too high, the spreadsheet makes sense, and the commercial bag will not get more honest. They rely on soft focus photography and unverified claims to ask for your blind trust. The required alternative is informed trust, backed by published, verifiable numbers. The most honest sound an animal makes is a growl, its instinct refusing what convention decided is acceptable. The moment biology votes against marketing. Let them growl is an invitation to trust your animal's biology over a corporate playbook. The system cannot fix this for you. To protect the animal you love, you have to leave the bag behind. Own your pet's bowl before vet bills own you.